for the destination. Check one, check two. Welcome, world. We're live. We are live like never before. Or maybe like before. Alive is alive. Alive is alive. Welcome, welcome. How you doing, everybody? "25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for the destination." And realized quickly I knew that I should, that the world was made of this brotherhood of man. For whatever that means. And across some time when I'm lying in bed and I get all out what's in my head, and I think it's a little peculiar, almost there. And I'll wake up in the morning and I'll step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, "What's going on?" Let's sing it. Here we go. Hey, 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 hey. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I pray. Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day for the revolution. Yeah, man, I'm going to get that song, man. I'm going to get it. I'm going to own that song, man. It's Four Non Blonde, band out of band out of San Francisco, California. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the program. Hope everybody had a good weekend. My name is Marcus Conte. This is the Morning Report, and what are we reporting on? I guess I don't know. I found an interview with Jay Leno, very interesting comedian. If you had to pick historically some of the funniest people in America, funniest Americans ever, Jay Leno is definitely on the list. A late night show, 20 some odd years of cracking jokes, and I found it very interesting for him to say that he doesn't do politics anymore. Maybe because he's rich and he's out of touch. It's a possibility, right? Money changes everything. Money, I got money. I don't find what these little people are saying funny anymore, Or is it something worse? Jay Leno says that politics and comedy is dead because you're either with us or against us, right? And that's very accurate. That's been my experience in political satire, to political comedy, whatever the hell this is, political reporting, talking about, the state of the union as politics, and that you are either with us. If you're not with us, that means you're against us. If you crack a joke against Biden, that means you're a Trump supporter. If you crack a joke against Trump, that means you're a leftist liberal and you support Joe Biden. These incredible extremes that go on and make it makes people uncomfortable. Right? I realize that it's not a lot of times political comedy is not funny to people. They're offended, which is a totally totally different equity from when I was a kid, where people cracked jokes and things were lighthearted, and then you moved on. But and you were friends. You hugged, you kissed, and it was over. But today, the political correctness, the notion of Me Too, the Me Too movement, the notion of that everything 30 and 40 years ago was so offensive to women and gays and blacks and whites and purples and immigrants and how dare you, repeat any of that stuff, right? It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Times change. Jay Leno pointed out, he made a very, very interesting analogy. He referred to it as a pendulum, that the pendulum often swings extreme left and extreme right. And then at some point it stops swinging and it settles in the middle. And I would say that the Me Too movement is now moving back towards the middle, because people realize how extreme it is. You can't say woman, you can't say man, you can't say gender, there's so many things that you can't even talk about without someone's losing their fucking mind, right? So we'll talk about that subject today. And Trump, again, surging in the polls. He got hit with $83 million liability in a lawsuit with E. Carroll in New York, who she claims, she's a lawyer, by the way. I don't think people know that. She's a fucking sophisticated, well-oiled lawyer for years, right? And she's suing Trump as a pedestrian. But she won her case, and she's got $83 million coming to her, according to the verdict. And it turns out that there is conflict of interest there. It looks like the judge knew Miss Carroll back in the day. They worked together in a law office. Holy shit, they were fucking partners in crime. So does it affect Trump? $83 million in the hole for defamation. It's not even rape or pushing oneself up on someone else in a dressing room in a department store somewhere in Manhattan. It's more than that. It's defamation. He's the president. He can't say that I'm crazy and I'm stupid. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Right? Words are now. That lady put herself out there. She's out there doing, television and news, and the defendant comments on it, and he's held liable $83 million. The judicial system, for people like Jay Leno, who are not really getting it completely, is totally derelict at this point. To find the guy guilty for $80 million. It's just this is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous, silly season, right? And, so welcome, everybody. We'll look at those stories. We'll look at Trump out of the polls. There's a couple other things we'll talk about. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good morning, Vinny DiMartini in the chat. Vinny on the wrench this morning. Cass Philly Camden is here. Zoot Suit Cooter is here. David Brown, all regulars here. Champs, welcome. Cheeseburger, how you doing? Jim Gerard, my brother. Sati. William R. Hall is here as well. Jungle Forever. Good morning, everybody. You know what I mean? So thank you all for joining me. And this is my thumbnail. There he is, Jay Leno. I love Jay Leno. Right? Jay Leno's a smart guy. He manages himself. Always has. He has he's into collecting cars. He's got like these giant parking, I guess, indoor garages with all his car collections, and he drives around fucking wherever he's from in cool cars. Right? It's a great life, right? And but he's a comic. He made his money on the back of telling jokes in America, and he says politics is dead. And I don't know. I believe him. I wish he would have the experience that some of us have had, which is getting totally censored and kicked off platforms for just talking about simple, basic politics. Right? I don't think Jay Leno's had that problem. But anyway, so we'll talk about Jay. My name is Marcus Conte. This is the Morning Report. Educational, philosophical. Don't get your balls all in a knot over something that's said. It's just words. It's just opinion. It's philosophical, educational, right? The great philosophers of a time gone by, like Socrates, expressed their views out in public. And if you didn't like them, you don't have to listen to them. But you don't force someone to drink the hemlock because you don't like their opinion. You just move on, right? And maybe find it in your heart to laugh again, right? People don't laugh anymore. They're afraid to show signs of happiness and joy. It means that they're taking it easy, right? Especially in the workplace. Oh, look at that guy smiling over there. Why are you so fucking smiling, right? Someone will say. Some big boss will walk over and say, why are you laughing? Shouldn't you be working? Like, you're not allowed to laugh and work at the same time, right? Think about it. Think about what's happening in the work. Get to work. I am working, but I'm laughing too. I'm enjoying the customer. Can I enjoy the customer? So we're in a left swinging pendulum right now. It's got to swing back to the middle already. And stop prosecuting people for having fun, for example. Anywhere on my website, you can donate. You can watch the reruns if you're watching this on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, wherever you're watching. I have a website, and if we're ever lost, you can come over here and find us, and you'll know where we are. If you want to contribute to the program, even better, through Zelle, Short Happy Life, or PayPal, Patreon. That's the way I'd like to fund the program, but it's demonetized. It looks like it could be monetized again. I don't know. YouTube is funny like that. Every once in a while, election season, maybe they'll say, okay, you didn't break the rules like we thought you did. What rules have I ever broke? Why is this channel not promoted and monetized? I've been here for so long. It's either two. It's one of two things. It's either I completely suck and don't, I'm not worthy of the attention, or it's suppression, right? I don't think I'm the greatest reporter, but I don't think I suck. So YouTube, kindly get your foot off my throat, so we can reach more people. So anyway, good morning. Let's start here. There's an interesting story for people who are health conscious. You can walk into the doctor today and at any age, not just an old person, and be diagnosed with dementia. Dementia, right? That's where there's a lot of talk about that now. Dementia, you're hearing brain freeze. Your fucking brain frozen. Your brain freeze. You have like a moment there, and I don't know, man. I think I believe a lot of people are experiencing a lot of those things because of various medical treatments, whether it's, smoking, legal weed, or it's, attending the doctor for a litany of the thing that starts with a V, made by Pfizer, and all those things, right? All of these, drugs that people consume possibly can cause that. It's also sedentary life. It's losing touch with the reality of the sun and the wind and the water, right? People don't go outside anymore. They overeat, eat more food than they physically need, and not good food, right? If you're gonna say mood swings turn into early onset dementia, you've got to look at all of it. Now, here, look at this woman. Now, does this look like a 53-year-old woman? Not to me. She looks a lot younger than that. All right, let's listen to her in her own words. Diagnosed with stage 4 and 5 dementia. Doctors say she's not going to live more than 50 to 60, excuse me. I would be terrified if I were anybody out there who relies on the great, medical industry for all of their advice. I would be very afraid right now, because you will walk into a doctor's office if you don't know what you're doing and you don't ask the right questions and you say the wrong thing. You will walk out of there with a diagnosis, a bad one.
In July 1st, I think, of 2020, And the diagnosis is major neurocognitive disorder due to fetal alcohol syndrome, hydrocephalus, and repeated concussions.
Yeah, right. That's what the doctors told you. Listen to that diagnosis. It doesn't even make sense. Listen.
Repeated concussions. I'm in stage and syndrome, hydrocephalus, and
hydrocephalus.
repeated concussions. I'm in stage 5 now. At the time of diagnosis, I was...
You look fine to me, man. You look fine to me. I understand every goddamn word you're saying. You look lean. You look mean. You're able to push the button and make a recording. Stop it already. Everybody has a moment, right? So what? You pass out. Big deal, right? Eat something.
Stage 4. And then I went back for retesting, a reassessment, just because the first initial one was a baseline. And then in 2022, I went back to see if I progressed or if it stayed.
You got to go back to see, you got to ask the doctor, how am I doing, right? Now, that's comical. In my view, you have to go to the doctor to ask the doctor how you're doing. No, you should be telling the doctor how you're doing, for Christ's sake. When you go to a doctor and the doctor says, how you doing? You say, I'm doing fantastic. Everything is working, right? Take your stethoscoporopterus and you can put it up my ass if you want and listen if you'd like. You can do whatever you want, run any non-invasive test. You tell the doctor that you're doing fine. If you are doing fine, if you feel fine and you're, you know more. The point is, you know more about yourself than some other person. Right.
The same, and it's continued to...
All right, so this woman is diagnosed. That's all I want to say. I just wanted to say is be careful. Be careful when you go to doctors. An Idaho woman experienced severe mood swings, though she thought she had a brain tumor. It turns out it was early onset dementia. Early onset dementia. Okay, so this is going to be the diagnosis. Not vaccine injury, not fucking alcoholism or smoking so much pot that you can't even see and breathe, and smoking cigarettes on top of that, and drinking a quart of vodka. None of that stuff. Don't even think about it, right? Or just junk food, eating nothing but cookie and cake. Right? People do that. They drink a gallon of coffee. I drink coffee a little bit. I'm drinking a little espresso right now. But I'm not killing myself with it. It doesn't make me, it doesn't make my hands shake like they used to. It used to be like this, but now it's like this. You know what I'm saying? Like a little coffee's not a big deal. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I'm just looking at this woman and I'm saying, my God, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're normal. You're normal, and your psyche is, your mind is affixed on illness. Snap out of it. Right? The answer for people like this is and always has been meditation, focused mind, concentration, right? Mindfulness, concentration. You'll get rid of that. It can't survive. Maybe for a week to a month, and then it's gone. You stop feeding it, and you're all of a sudden you're clear. She says, my doctors don't see me living into my 60s, and eventually I'm going to need round-the-clock care at home. Well, you could see where the doctors are going, right? They want that round-the-clock, that care, and so they make their money, right? It's cynical, right? It's cynical. They're doing it for the money. She also had trouble keeping her balance when walking, making decisions, and controlling significant changes in her mood. Well, I'll confess, I was running Saturday, and I almost fell. Right? I felt a little dizzy, and I almost fell. Right? Now, what you fail to know in that story is that it was 26 degrees. The ground was full of ice. And I'm running on a trail full of ice and snow, right? And a little, right? It's normal to slip. And by the way, I'm pushing 60 years old, right? So you have to tell the other stuff too. Why did I, you know what I'm saying, right? You got to get all the details when diagnosing someone. She also had trouble keeping her balance. I said that. Sexy woman, 50 years old. Her counselor recommended she undergo neurological tests, believing she could be suffering from multiple sclerosis or a brain tumor. Well, so what? This is interesting too. MRI, right? The brain scan, revealed a stage 4 dementia, which since progressed to stage 5. Now, I would like to know more about that. What on the fucking what on the Earth's surface are they looking at, right? What are you looking at in this image of the brain that tells you someone is in dementia stage 4? This woman just articulated perfectly what anybody more clear than most people for 49 seconds. You're telling me she has some kind of dementia, right? Isn't dementia permanent? What, it's coming through in waves? That's not fucking dementia. That's something else, right? That's something else. Right? It's misdiagnosis. She's also saying that she has fetal alcohol syndrome. She noticed at 41. So now she's also blaming her parents. Their fucking mother and father. My mother drank every day with me inside of her. Fuck her. Right. She smoked 3 packs of Marlboro while I was a fetus. Right. And that's true, right? That does happen, right? They also, the great generation or the generation after, I guess my parents, the baby boomers, they were also heavily into injections, penicillin shots they used to go to the doctor for, B12, a litany of vaccines. So we don't really know why exactly we are this way. Right? Fetal alcohol syndrome. The way you can tell if you have fetal alcohol syndrome is drink some alcohol and see how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel like a squirming fetus, you might be right. I don't know, man. So that's all I got. This woman is poorly diagnosed. I hope she finds her way out of the trap of medicine. And anyway, so let's turn the screw here to the polls. Polls. What do you know? Donald Trump, 91 felonies later, now 83 million in the hole to some woman who says she raped him. He raped her. Right, is winning. He's going to be the next president of the United States, according to the polls. Latest 2024 polls, Republican presidential nomination, overwhelmingly Trump. Republican nomination, that's Morning Consultant. Reuters has Trump up by 45. Morning Consultant, 63. But here's the Reuters poll. These are new. As of Friday, January 26th, they have Trump up by 5. General election, Trump versus Trump by 5. Holy shit, they got Trump up already. Reuters did another one and added Kennedy and Phillips into the mix, and Trump is still up by 5. So it doesn't look like Kennedy is pulling from anybody at this point. We'll see about that in the general election. The third party usually pulls about 2 points, right? When faced with Biden and Trump, there's a lot of people that don't like either one of them and wouldn't vote for either one of them, but want to vote anyway and might go for that third party, a Cornel West or I think even Jill Stein is still on there. And who else? And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., right? So all of the polls. Here we got Messengers, got Trump up by 6. Harris X, Trump by 9 in a general election. Economist even has Trump up by 1. There's nothing here where Biden is beating him anymore. Pennsylvania, Trump, Biden by 8. That doesn't matter. Overall scenario. Overall in the country, who's winning, right? The aggregate. So Trump is surging in the polls. But last week Trump's lawyers got hit with $83.3 million jury verdict, And he called it, his lawyers are calling this verdict insane because Carol is, look, this is a lawyer. This is a wolf in sheep's clothing. She's not just some woman. She was in a law firm, a very, very high-placed, aggressive law firm for 15 years of her life before she went on to work for another law firm. So she's a seasoned, aggressive, lawyer, right? And but now she's the victim. So I'm going to use all my legal skills and all my legal training. And then I'm going to sue the president for $83 million, and I'm going to walk away, right? So how a jury of 9 found Trump guilty? Well, if you've ever been in a case in jury duty, right, or any of that stuff, you see how the judge, if the judge wants to find the defendant guilty, he'll set up the jury in a way where it's easy for them to find him guilty. Right? If it's the other way around, it'll be insane to find him guilty. Right? So again, the cases, even with a jury trial, is heavily stacked against whoever the judge doesn't like. Right? And in this case, a Clinton-appointed judge, look at this. Trump's Manhattan federal judge, Lewis Kaplan, and Carol, the woman who alleges she was raped, worked together in the early 90s at the same powerhouse white shoe law firm until Saturday. When asked about it by Post columnist who was told that the judge was once Roberta Kaplan's mentor. This is a fucking inside hit. That's breaking news right there. So Trump, but nonetheless, Trump is $83 million in the hole. Hopefully, he'll get elected and get rid of this judge. Retribution, right? That's funny when they say Trump is the retribution president. See, he wants to come after us and take vengeance on us. Well, you accused him of 91 felonies. You impeached him twice. You tried to arrest and successfully arrested a lot of his friends. You knocked down his door in Malago, accusing him of stealing classified information and selling it to the Russians. You accused him of high treason and insurrection and seditious conspiracy. The establishment did this to him, and they're saying, for what? For what? Exposing, I don't know, Joe Biden's corruption in Ukraine, Joe Biden's incompetence across the board in many respects, on the border, on whatever else Biden stands for, right? So Trump is guilty of all this stuff. So is he? I don't know. So there's the judge. We don't see his face. We only see a drawing. This is a sham. This is a ripoff. This is a sign of really, really fucking bad situation in America right now, where the courts are lawfare, right? The judge, the victim, their friends, they worked at the same law firm. That's a severe, conflict of interest. That the judge and the woman worked together for years. It's crazy. That's Trump's lawyer. But anyway, that's the issue with Trump. $80 million in the hole. He's got to spend his time fucking trying to get out of it, trying to appeal the case, get it overturned. And maybe if he's president, he can get around that, just get rid of it. With the idea that Trump is the retribution president, he's out there to get everybody, that falls short. In my view, it looks like they come at him, and then when he defends himself, now that's retribution. But not what you did, not how you attacked him and tried to, smear him and throw him in jail. And again, I got to say it, and they can't stop him, right? He's surging. Right, and history tells us that no one is bulletproof. Right? Humans, when guns are pointed at humans, and holes appear. and the blood flows out. So Trump's got to be careful with this, that they don't try to whack him before it's over. Remember what Hillary Clinton said, right? You remember John F. Kennedy Jr., right? And there's much speculation that Hillary Clinton, the Clintons, that was one of the first theoretical bodies in the bag, which was John F. Kennedy Jr. Clinton was running against John F. Kennedy Jr. in New York for a Senate seat. And he was leading. He was winning because he had the name. He had a bigger, following. John F. Kennedy Jr. He was handsome. He was young. And what do you know? He was flying in his plane, and the plane crashed, leaving Hillary Clinton a fucking clear shot to the Senate. Did Hillary Clinton kill John F. Kennedy Jr.? I don't know. You tell me. So let's talk about Jay Leno. Jay Leno speaks out against the efforts to remove Trump from ballot. Says he stopped doing political jokes. What a tragedy. Man, one of the funniest men in the world, made his living telling jokes, is literally saying that comedy in politics is no longer there. It's not allowed. And there's nothing funny anymore. No one has found a way to make everybody laugh in a political joke. If you say Trump, people's heads fucking are ready to explode. If you say Biden, same result, right? It's just hysteria. So late night show legend Jay Leno weighed in on former President Trump in a recent interview, telling UK journalists he's not a fan of the conservative leader. Well, let's watch the interview. Let's watch what he has to say. Here's Jay Leno in his own words.
Which can be pretty frightening sometimes.
When you look at the state of politics in America, particularly fueled perhaps by social media, which tends to inflame the extremities on both sides, do you worry about that? Do you worry that America's becoming ever more polarized politically?
Being an optimist, the biggest fear for years was nobody's voting, and nobody voted. This last election, whether you're for Trump or for Biden, huge. Everybody voted, not everybody, but the highest. No one ever predicted that. They thought it would just continue to go down, and people under 30 would never vote, and well, no, that all changed. So it got people interested. So I think
Get
that's
to the point.
one of the benefits of it.
What do you make of the Donald Trump phenomenon?
Yeah.
There's another way to describe it. When in 1999 he appeared on the Tonight Show with you, and was when he first said he was going to run for president. And you, like everybody else, laughed at this concept, and you quizzed him about his temperament. And Trump said this to you: I believe when someone wants to get you, you want to get them, and I believe that. And you said, but being president, you'd have to be more diplomatic. And he replied, yes, but I believe in retribution. Well, no one's laughing now because he became president and may well.
But what I don't understand. I don't understand the premise of that. When someone comes at you wrongfully, you're not allowed to respond. What the fuck kind of shit is that? It is people. These people are attacking me. Therefore, but I'm supposed to sit there like a wall and take it. Right? Look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden is behind 91 felony charges. Look at Letitia James. Look at Smith, the special counsel going after Trump. Look at the evidence on the table. Look how they go after Trump. That's and for him to say that these things are fabricated is retribution. To clean up the garbage that these people are laying out in front of the American people is retribution. I don't understand that premise. Trump is counterpunching. When someone punches you, you can block it or punch back. You don't just sit there and get punched and punched and punched, because you end up, you know what happens there? You end up like Jeb Bush. You get punched and you leave. Ted Cruz, punched, leave. Mark Rubio, punched and he leaves. Fat Chris Christie, right? That's not a leader. Bernie Sanders.
And he does exact retribution. He's done exactly what he said he would do. What do you think of this phenomenon of Trump, the politician?
I'm not a fan. I think he has like this thing where they want to restrict him on the ballot. I'm against that.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Turn against you.
Jay Leno says he's against the ballot removing Trump from the ballot, right? It's unconstitutional. It's un-American. It's undemocratic.
You could use it for
It's anti-democratic.
Anti-democratic. There you go. Thank you.
It's anti-democratic. I mean, if the people want that person as president, that's fine.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a fan. It has nothing to do with politics. I just don't think morally. I think we could do a little bit better. All these indictments, whatever it might be. You know.
Yeah, but what about it, Jay? Why don't you do your homework? All of these indictments. Look at the indictments. Look at what they are. Tax evasion. That's bullshit, right? Criminal insurgency. Come on, man. There's nothing there. There's no laws that were broken. They're fiction.
I just
for the most part.
Stop doing politics and my.
And why don't you come up and say that the January 6th crowd, let them out of fucking jail already, right? In jail for a rally. You talk about a swing to the left, locking up Trump supporters for showing up at the Capitol and voicing their opinion about election fraud and arguing for free and fair elections is a crime. All of a sudden, crazy.
You know, when I
See, Jay Leno's a little lost. I'm not saying he's for the other side. I'm just saying that he's not really clear on both sides of what's happening. He's middle left, right? He's on the left, right? His opinion, right? Now I'm trying not to criticize him. I'm trying not to do what he's saying people do, which is, if you're not with us, you're against us. I'm just pointing out that his view of Trump is grossly inaccurate, right? If you listen to MSNBC and CNN, they tell you that you're correct, but upon further investigation, it's not correct.
The Tonight Show, the idea was you made fun of both sides equally, and you get those, Mr. Leno, you and your Republican friends, well, Mr. Leno, you and your Democratic buddies, you know, and they both be angry. And I go, oh, that's good. You know, they both think you're supporting the other guy. Now you've got to take a side, and people are angry if you don't. And I find what I would start to tell a political joke. Well, they want to know the punchline before, is this pro or against it? You know, so I just stopped doing it.
Really?
Because I just want people to come and laugh and have a good
Wow.
time. That's the idea of doing a comedy show.
Wow, Jay Leno saying I just stopped doing politics, right? Is that a coward? Is Jay Leno a coward for doing that? You don't hear that coming out of Chris Rock's mouth or fucking any other big comic, right? You fly into it, right? My view is that you fly into that controversy. You talk about that very controversy and find humor in that controversy, Jay.
To me, I'm not trying to get my personal opinion because I think it's useless or worthless to most people. If you ask me, I'll tell you, but I don't.
Your personal opinion is always in there. It's part of the joke.
Make it my thing to go out there and explain to people how I'm not trying to influence you. You know, that's why Rodney Dangerfield and I were great friends. I knew Rodney for 40 years. I have no idea if he was Democrat or Republican. It was just about the jokes. You know, it's just the economy of words, get to the joke as quickly as possible. I mean, to me, the classic Rodney joke was, I'm walking down the street, I see a club, it said topless and bottomless. I went in, there was nobody there. I mean, to me, it's so stupid. It's so funny. You know, and
but from a comedic point of view, I mean, I've known Trump a long time. I did the Celebrity Apprentice with him. I saw him a lot every night across the boardroom, and I saw actually a different.
Let's see. Push ahead a little bit. I don't know really where I'm going with this, but I found it interesting that Jay Leno sees politics in comedy as being dead. He should go with who he should interview with. He should interview with Joe Rogan. Because Joe Rogan is kind of a comic, right? He's a comedian. But he's also bigger and better than what Jay Leno did in his life. Joe Rogan is doing it on his own on the internet, and very, very, very successfully too. That's what I want to see. I want to see Joe Rogan interview Jay Leno.
I just don't agree with some of the moral decisions and other things, you know.
Do you think one of the secrets of his success, because you can't deny the success or the popularity, is that he does have...
Well, is it success or popularity? I mean, what are you talking about?
Well, success in the sense he won...
Success and popularity are the same thing.
...presidency with zero experience.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty extraordinary.
Right.
In popularity, he got 10 million votes more last election than the first time round, which is pretty staggering, given how divisive his tenure was. And he may well win again. The polls suggest he's got a very good chance. Is one of the secrets of this popularity that Trump has with a volume of the population here, that he does have a comedic streak? He makes
of course he
people
does.
laugh.
Yeah. Well, and to me, I think you have to have the ability to. I don't dislike people who like Trump. I mean, I meet people all the time, guys that are mechanics or like blue-collar guys that like Trump for that reason. And I like them. I like them. I don't, we live in an era now, if you have an electric car, you're a vegan, and you voted for Biden, and you want Governor Newsom to be president of the United States. If you have a gas car, you like guns, you like, the idea that you
can't be in the middle.
You've got to be one or the other.
You've got to be one or the other, says Jay Leno. He doesn't like it. Right? Listen to the man. Listen to what the man is saying, liberal left. Stop attacking people. Right? Stop it.
I like to have friends on both sides. It's like when I used to watch the news, I used to get news I didn't know about or wasn't interested in, but I got it because it was part of the news. Now when we watch news, we watch MSNBC, or we watch Fox.
No, we don't, Joe. You do. You only watch MSNBC and Fox. You got to watch all of them, right? Even if it makes your skin crawl.
we just watch the news.
Well, read the New York Times and see how the only reason I know how corrupt these publications are, how corrupt by the money that they take and their isolated opinions. The only reason I know that is because I look at the publication and I could see it with my own eyes, for Christ's sake. I don't need anybody to tell me that the New York Times is corrupt, or CNN is corrupt, or MSNBC is corrupt, or Fox is corrupt for that matter.
Want to see. And I find that really annoying. I like learning something I didn't know, or hearing other points of view.
Sure.
I mean, I have friends that are huge Trump supporters, and we tease each other. I don't dislike them, or I just disagree with them. The idea that you can't disagree with someone without hating them, it seems just horrible to me. I don't get it.
See, the underlying problem with Trump is it's not even his bad attitude. People can overlook that. It's that through lawfare, they've piled 91 felonies on his back. They've impeached him twice for ridiculous, unimpeachable nonsense. A phone call with a President Zelensky, who was inquiring about Joe Biden's corruption, barely, and for that he was impeached. And where did that lead to? How did that work out for Ukraine? Ukraine fell shortly after that. After they vilified Zelensky and Trump together, what happened? Putin stepped in and took over fucking Ukraine. Thank you, Joe Biden.
Is that one of the reasons that there's a sense that far less is being actually done in the Senate, in Congress, because it's so visceral?
I see a little Buffy going on. If the stream locks, just click the refresh button and it'll pop back on.
Now, the tribalism on both sides.
Yeah, I think
it's very
so.
difficult for politicians to do deals with the other side.
I think so. And if you do, you're a traitor, or whatever it might be.
Right.
I mean, I like Mitt Romney. I think he's a terrific guy.
Mitt Romney. I'll advance on that one. I got something about jokes over here. Let's listen to a little more Jay Leno. He's a fascinating guy, man. I'd like to see more of Jay Leno.
For comedians, blondes, all that kind of stuff. And it takes something like this to get people not to. When you talk to men under the age of 30 now, they really understand.
Very different.
It's very different.
Yeah, my sons are all in their 20s. They think very differently about it.
And it's all for the better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it better?
Yeah.
I mean, so
Wow. So men under 30 have a better understanding of women. I don't know what men you're looking at, right? Because I see young men, they're fucking dogs, right? I see them, I talk to them, right? Everywhere. Where are you looking? Where, Jay? You're looking at the prep school that you send your kid to? Go out into the fucking high schools of inner city high schools, and you're going to tell me that the young men treat women any different? They treat them like garbage. Listen to rap music, right? They're objects, pussy, right? They're things. They're right up there with the bottle of Hennessy and the gram of Coke, and the bitch. Right? So where is this generation? Bullshit.
Well, it's better to the point, I would say, where it gets taken too far, and any kind of humour, what I would frame the office banter style humour,
Right.
taking, as we were saying, taking the mickey out of each other, sending each other up. That's almost become a criminal offence just across the board, where no one dares make any jokes about anything or anyone.
Well,
the fear of somebody being offended.
Right. You lose your YouTube channel, right? You say the wrong thing, right? That's not democracy. That's not a free and fair press. You should be able to say and do whatever the hell you want, as long as you're not going to try to kill anybody. And just opinion, right? I think as a people, we still know the fine line between what is just conversation and what isn't. I think we could still tell. Well, let's look at the markets while we're here, while I'm here. So markets are up, green. Oh shit, green, more green today. Nasdaq up 17 points. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 11. S&P 500 up 3. The Great Rivian up 11 cents this morning to $15.40. It's a pharmaceutical company I've been watching, ARDX. I have no idea what they make. I probably won't like what they make, but man, the stock is moving up. It was 6, now it's 9. ARDX. You can check that out and figure out what the fuck they do. NVIDIA, the great technology company. This week we're going to get earnings from the big technology companies. We're also going to get Fed Chairman Jerome Powell's comments, I think Wednesday or Thursday, about interest rate. They're going to freeze it at the same level, 5.5, 6, or whatever it is, 5.5, or jack it up or reduce it. Because if there's any inclination that they're going to start to reduce the interest rate, meaning that they're going to start quantitatively easing, then the markets will go up even more than they already have. But the earnings coming in, Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, all coming in. Tesla had their earnings last week and missed. It looks like it's coming back now, 184 on Tesla. What else we got here? Bitcoin down another $570. Oops, per share. To 41,800. Not that big of a deal, really. It's 1.5% down. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, the holy vaccine stocks. Pfizer getting crushed, $27. Moderna is under 100. Moderna was a $400 stock during the pandemic. Look at this. If money doesn't, if money, look at this thing. Just check this out. I'll put the daily, put the 6 month up. Put the 2-year chart up, Conti. And there you go, right? So during the look at Moderna, right? During the run up to the pandemic, in right around January of 2020, right when the pandemic started, Moderna was $20 a share, $20.80, right around there. And then the pandemic started, it went to 60. You talk about a grand slam at 20. If you got in at 20, this thing went to $500. $495 at the height of the pandemic because of the vaccine. And then the hysteria was over. From 400, it's back down and went back down to 65. And now it's coming up again, 101, right? But if they didn't benefit from if you don't understand who benefited from the pandemic, look no further than Moderna, right? mRNA, the chart says it all, right? Prior to at the beginning of the pandemic, it was a $20 stock, $20, $25. And at the height of the pandemic, that is right up there, July of 2021, the height of the hysteria with Fauci on TV every day screaming vaccine, the stock went to $493. And then that policy changed and it went all the way back down to 70. And so there's your profiteering, right? If you want the answers, look in Wall Street. You know how much money was made on that move? Do you know how much money was made on a move from Moderna? If you had that position at 20 and it went to 500, Oh my God, you were screaming from the rooftops, more vaccine, vaccines for everyone. Right? That's what happens. Vaccines for everyone. Right? Maybe it'll go to 1,000. Right? Overlooking the fact that it might be hurting people. Right? I was listening to more Jay Leno.
Median. I don't really have that.
See, that's an opinion that you can get you kicked off or attacked for. Pointing out the money that Moderna made during the pandemic for their product, the mRNA vaccine, right? Whether you like the vaccine or not isn't the point. But they profited from that forcing it on people, forcing it on the military, forcing it on government employees, forcing it on city employees. Right? That's why it went up. That's why they made all that money.
I've had it a little bit once in a while. So, you know what I do? I apologize. I mean, you know something? My point was to make you laugh. A lot of times the point is not to make you laugh.
You had a story where you were in a Chinese restaurant with your wife, and the waitress took offense.
This is a good story.
We were at a little Chinese restaurant, and there wasn't a waitress. Like the mom ran the kitchen.
Let's move on from Jay Leno. This is a good report. Let's talk about back to the that original article about this woman. If you're joining us late, in the beginning I talked about this woman who has early dementia, early onset dementia, stage 4 and 5, diagnosed by the great medical profession. And they don't think she's going to live past 60. But watch this. Here's a pretty good clip that TYT did on how marijuana might actually increase the human quality. Let's check this out. It's pretty good.
The big question that researchers are looking into is whether or not marijuana has positive benefits in the way you behave. Does it make you more empathetic? Now, new findings published in the Journal of Neuroscience research suggest that there...
What is empathy anyway? Empathy. It makes you more empathetic. It makes you more caring about others. That's a hard thing to measure. That is a fucking hard thing to measure. We measure empathy here. This is statistically we measure empathy. That's what these jerk-offs do, right? These scientists. Yeah, we have a system for measuring empathy. Well, what is empathy? Oh, empathy is when people care about others. Oh, let me see your series of questions asking people about how they care about others. And you'll find the holes. You'll find the flaws. You'll find the bias. So right off the bat, the study isn't really. I don't think the study is as valid as someone's personal experience. What I would say is, go to the woman has fucking adult onset dementia, or young dementia, and put her on the fucking medical cannabis thing and see what happens. Right? See if she freaks out or not.
There could be a connection between marijuana use.
She's like a lab rat.
And empathy. The study of 85 regular cannabis users and 51 non-users as participants to complete a test that measures empathy. Researchers also used brain imaging to study some of these subjects. They analyzed a region of the brain that plays a central role in mediating our empathetic response. Okay. And here's what they found. Cannabis users scored higher on a part of the test that assessed emotional comprehension or the ability to understand another's emotional state.
Okay.
In the imaging section of the study.
Now, can anyone say anything like that about any other drug that's on the market? Does anybody really? Could someone say that about fucking, these other drugs, Oxycontin or fentanyl or phenobarbital or any of these other antidepressants? I don't think so. When they're talking about marijuana, they see a heightened creativity, a heightened connectivity into areas of human empathy. Wow. So, and why is that a bad thing? I don't know.
Cannabis users had greater connectivity in areas associated with emotional and empathy-related regions.
Okay.
People who use cannabis tend to have enhanced sense of care for other people. And
those studies, by the way, are flawed. Where the scientists look at the brain, the MRI, and they say, oh yeah, that's the empathy portion of the brain. That's fucking bullshit. Right? That's bullshit. It's not only mind. It's mind and memory is stored throughout the body, everywhere. In every cell of your body, there's memory. It's not just in the brain.
motivated to engage in the world in a way that is benign and selfless. I don't know about that quote.
Yeah. Vinny DiMartini's got a great one. He says, 4 guys get drunk, go out, and get in a fight. 4 guys get stoned and order pizza and start a band. That's right, man. There you go. Which one's better? Pick one.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody when I'm stoned, like ever.
Yeah.
True.
It sounds.
There's truth to that, right? Cannabis might be an isolation drug. It's something where you smoke it on your own and you touch your inner child, right? It's not really. It's not social. I don't think. At least it never was for me.
It's dangerous to me. I mean, this kind of reefer madness where you begin to like other people.
No, hold on. Let me correct myself.
I like what Cenk says about marijuana. He's going to say something good.
I don't want to be out in the world talking to strangers.
All right.
And connecting with strangers.
Yeah.
I do feel a deeper connection with people that I already know and have an affinity for.
Yeah. So look, I have a theory on cannabis, which is that it makes you do the things that you already do, but more deeply. Right?
That's right.
So if you are already an empathetic person, it might make you even more empathetic.
That's correct. I agree with that.
If you're already a dude.
It's a mood enhancer. It enhances whatever you're in. If you're in a funk, you're going to get deeper in a funk. If you have a heightened sense of yourself and love, that will increase, I believe.
It might make you more of a douche. So that's my theory. Is there evidence on that side?
So yes, okay. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But I wanted to comment on what you just said. What I've noticed with there's so many factors.
Thank you for the clip there, because I don't really know what they're talking about at this point. But I think it's to thine self be true. You have to, if you're going to smoke weed, you have to. There's other factors included in that sense of that heightened sense of awareness. Without mindfulness, without concentration, without a healthy diet, without regular exercise, without a regular meditation practice, without sunshine, without clean water, without fresh air, without time to relax. You can't really say, if you're leaning on weed to change your place in life, you would be wrong. It has to be all of it. Let's sing some Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Just give me a second. There it is. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. See you guys, man. Peace out. Marcus Conte.